Long have I awaited this day that I could hold War and Peace in my hands. You guys, I have in my hands War and Peace. I am so terrified to open it and yet so excited. I have been waiting and waiting for 4 weeks for this book to arrive so I could hold it in my hands. That's a long time because when I ordered it, it was on back order and then I had to wait like a week for it to actually get here. But now that it's here, I'm so excited. Okay, let's just open it. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't get it out. It is so beautiful. Oh my, it's very floppy considering how like thick it is. But the pages are also like super, these are like Bible pages, okay? That's how thin these pages are. But oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to be holding it in my hands. Like, I did get the Oxford World Classics edition because I watched people who were also like filmed a reading vlog for it, and this is the edition that they were reading and they read passages out of it and I really liked the way it sounded, so that is why I went with this edition. And this is, who is this translated by? Louise and Oliver Maud, and I really like the Oxford Classics. I have the Oxford Classics of Pride and Prejudice and several other books. Long have I awaited this day that I could hold War and Peace in my hands. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I'm gonna start it today. My goal is to read 15 pages a day. If I read 10 pages a day, it'll take me 5 months. If I read 15, it'll take me like 3 months. And if I read 20 pages a day, it'll take me like 2 months. So we'll just see how like readable it is and then decide how much we're gonna read each day. But I'm so excited. Hey guys, I have a little reading update for you guys. I am currently on page 103 of War and Peace. It still doesn't feel real that I'm reading War and Peace. It just feels like a dream, kind of. Because it's like, you know, it's always been this like big epic book that it seems like no one has touched. I don't know. But now that I'm actually reading it, it's not that daunting, to be honest. Like, if you see this is where I am currently. The blue is where I want to read each day, and then the green sticky notes are like book 1, book 2, book 3 epilogue. And just so it helps me break it up a little bit more. I'm going to make a video in the future showing you guys how I'm annotating this, because I do have a system. It's not fully completed yet because I haven't gotten to certain spots where I want to use like that color tab, if that makes sense. Like for instance, like red is quotes, and then I don't have a color for blue, purple, or magenta. So I need to get like those colors and what I'm going to have them like represent. But this is the current tabbing situation so far. It's quite a lot of tabs, and I haven't even tabbed like everything I've underlined. And then I have some tabs on the top here, just for I think more notable characters, like the people who are gonna be like big major characters in the plot. Then I'm actually like underlining things like in pen. Normally I don't do that, but this book you just got to. I do want to share just a few things that I really liked so far. So I have blush, which is this color right here, is my color for like beautiful writing. And I wanted to share this quote because it was just like the simile here is just really like beautiful. So this is at the party with Anna Pavlovna, and like a bunch of people are there, and Tolstoy writes, "As the foreman of a spinning mill, when he has set the hands to work, goes round and notices, here a spindle that has stopped, or there one that creaks or makes more noise than it should, and hastens to check the machine or set it in proper motion, so Anna Pavlovna moved about her drawing room, approaching now a silent, now a too noisy group, and by a word or slight rearrangement, kept the conversational machine in steady, proper, and regular motion." Isn't that just so beautiful? Like, I love that so much. Oh, and this is just funny. I think so far Andre is my favorite, just because he's so like nonchalant about everything. He's just like, I don't care. Just then another visitor entered the drawing room. Prince Andrei Bolkonsky, the little princess's husband. He was a very handsome young man of medium height with firm, clear-cut features. Everything about him, from his weary, bored expression to his quiet, measured step, offered a most striking contrast to his lively little wife. It was evident that he not only knew everyone in the drawing room, but had found them to be so tiresome that it wearied him to look at or listen to them. And among all these faces that he found so tedious, none seemed to bore him so much as that of his pretty wife. Is that just not hilarious? Oh my gosh. So yeah, just like the little things like that that just stick out to me is just beautiful. So far, really liking this. I am realizing now how much translation matters, because when I read Anna Karenina, like I read the Constance Garnett translation, and while it was a fine translation, it just didn't like connect with me and resonate with me as much as War and Pieces. And I don't know if that's just the story or if it is in fact the translation, but I think if I'm going to reread Anna Karenina, I'll read the Louise and Almer Maud translation, because I am quite liking how they're writing things. Like, it's very readable, which I am enjoying and I'm very much appreciative of, because it is such a big chunky book. So yeah, those are all the updates I have for you guys as of right now. I'm kind of reading about 20 pages a day. Although I think yesterday I read like 30 pages. So I'm just kind of going with it. Hopefully I can read more than 20 pages a day. So then if I have a day where I like can't read, then it won't like set me back too much. But we should be on track to finish this in 2 months. I mean, not we, I. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys right now. I still can't believe I'm reading War and Peace. Oh my gosh. Like, it's so crazy. Who would have thought that little old me would be reading War and Peace? I can't get over it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling now and I'll let you go and I'll update you guys in like the next 100 pages or so. Oh, one more thing. We haven't like gotten any war scenes so far, but I can tell they're coming because they're already starting to talk about like how everyone is already going off to the war. So I think we'll be seeing some of that soon, but we just haven't encountered it yet. That's all I have to say for right now. Hey guys, I have reached book 1, part 2 of War and Peace. That is page 119. Wow. And it has been 4 days since I have started War and Peace, reading approximately 20 pages a day. It feels so surreal. I guess that's the right word. Basically what's happened so far is we just saw Prince Andre go off to war. My favorite character. I love Andre. He's so sarcastic and like just funny. I find him humorous. I'm thoroughly enjoying this so far. It's so good. And this is the tabbing situation so far. Like, oh my gosh. And I've started like top tabbing too. Wow, that was an alliteration. We've reached part 2. Yay. We've still got like 4 more books to go and many parts and many chapters, but we're chugging along. So yay. I am also currently reading The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is a book that's been on my TBR for a while now. I just managed, well, didn't just, it was like last year. I got my hands on the physical copy of the book. I'm on page 42. So not super far, but we've already met the prince and we've met the assassin and we don't know who is who. So that in and of itself already adds like a layer of intrigue and like mystery, which I quite like. Yeah, I was kind of hesitant to dive into another fantasy book. Not that War and Peace is fantasy, but like something that would take like a lot of attention, you know? But this so far is pretty easy to understand, so I think that's gonna be helpful. Also, just like rereading books that I've already read and already like understood, I think will help me also as I'm reading War and Peace, because like with War and Peace, well, you don't have to focus super hard, and I'm kind of just, when we get new characters, I'm not focusing so much on them because I know I'm just gonna like get lost, so I'm not even gonna try. It's like we've already met so many characters, and a lot of them I'm pretty sure are like secondary characters, so I'm not focusing so much on them. But if they're like I know or I have a feeling they're gonna be like a major character, then I will tab it. But most of the time if they're just a small character, I just like circle their name in pencil. So then if I'm like flipping through, I can quickly like pick it out of the page. But it's not like tabbed, if that makes sense. Hey guys, it has been a minute, but I have come back with a reading update for you guys. So we have reached book 2 in War and Peace. And I'm currently on page 329, which is about like 22% of the way through the book. This is, I don't know how you can see that very well. This is the current tabbing situation. Again, I still don't have a color for magenta, but once I do, I will create a how I'm annotating this book / also if you want to see like a full fully updated how I annotate video, because my system has changed quite a bit from the last time I posted a video, and I also have, I feel like, more examples of how I've annotated books since the last time that I did film that video. Because now I use like I don't know if it's technically called top tabbing, but I'm gonna call it that for the sake of example. I top tab now, like super important moments, instead of using, which even last time I didn't use like post-it notes to tab my most important moments, but I did that for a few books, but then I kind of got annoyed because like the sticky note isn't like transparent, so you can't see through it. So that was kind of annoying, so you'd have to like peel it up every single time you read the book. I don't know why I'm still holding this. But with top tabbing, you use like the normal annotation tab, you just stick it and have it stick out at the top of the book rather than the side of the book. And that's really helpful, especially if you are annotation crazy like me and you have so many tabs that it's hard to differentiate what your favorite moments are versus like just another moment you love, but not as much, you know? So another quick little update. I have started Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is my first Sanderson novel. I figured I'd start with his YA book. I own this and Mistborn, but I just wanted to kind of like ease my way in, because I know he has like his, it's not like a multiverse, but it's called the Cosmere, and I guess like it's all those books take place in the same world. Not entirely sure, I need to do more research, but I figured I'd just start with something simple. Hopefully it'll be a good time. I know a lot of people really like this book, so hopefully that'll be fine. And then my library also owns the second book, so if this ends on a cliffhanger, which I'm not sure if it does or not, but I can just go over there and pick it up. Now, if the second book ends on a cliffhanger, then I don't know what I'm gonna do, because they don't own the third book, and I don't own the third book, so. Man, Sanderson just like cranks out novels like no other. It's insane. He just announced like 5 new novels, and I was like, excuse me? But a book I just finished reading was Head Over Heels by Hannah Orenstein? Not entirely sure how you pronounce her last name. But this is like a gymnastics, sports. It's supposed to be romance. I hated the romance with a passion. It was horrible. So if you're wanting to read this for like a gymnastics romance, would not recommend. If you're wanting to read this for like a gymnastics, like nostalgia purposes, then I would read it. I gave it 4 stars for enjoyment, but again, did not love the romance. But I loved the gymnastics in the story. I'll have, of course, my Goodreads is linked down below. You can see all my reviews over there. I wrote a 5-paragraph essay for that book, which probably explains my thoughts more than I did here. Now, back to War and Peace. Andre is my favorite character. I absolutely love Andre. And just the way that Tolstoy describes things is just insane. Let me just read you guys this on page 306. So this is just something that was like beautiful writing. But as a youth in love trembles, is unnerved, and dares not utter the thoughts he has dreamt of for nights, but looks around for help or a chance of delay and flight, when the longed-for moment comes, and he is alone with her. So Rostov, now that he had attained what he had longed for more than anything else in the world, did not know how to approach the emperor, and 1,000 reasons occurred to him why it would be inconvenient, unseemly, and impossible to do so. And then, this is just something I found funny, also on page 306. Not one of the innumerable speeches addressed to the emperor that he had composed in his imagination could he now recall. Those speeches were intended for quite other conditions. They were for the most part to be spoken at a moment of victory and triumph, generally when he was dying of wounds, and the sovereign thanked him for heroic deeds. And while dying, he expressed the love his actions had proved. Is that not just hilarious? Just like coming up with a pre-prepared speech, like, that's so something I would do. Rostov is also just kind of like enamored, I guess would be the word, with the emperor. He's like, oh my god, it's not like I guess it's like a love in the sense that it's like adoration, not like romantic love, obviously. Okay, and then this was just a really beautiful moment on page 299 with my favorite, Andre. How quiet, peaceful, and solemn, not at all as I ran, thought Prince Andrei. Not as we ran, shouting and fighting, not at all as the gunner and the Frenchman with frightened and angry faces struggled for the mop. How differently do those clouds glide across that lofty, infinite sky. How was it I did not see that lofty sky before? And how happy I am to have found it at last. Yes, all is vanity, all falsehood except that infinite sky. There is nothing, nothing but that. But even if it does not exist, there is nothing but quiet and peace. Thank God. Just little things like that in the book are just like making me love Tolstoy's writing. And I think if I ever, which I probably will, reread Anna Karenina, I'll get the Louise and Olimar Maud translation because I really like the writing. Like, it just, I don't know, it feels like how I would imagine Tolstoy would write. Does that make sense? Oh, here's another one. On page 290, I'm just gonna read you guys all the quotes. I hope you don't mind. Above him was a clear blue sky, and the sun's vast orb quivered like a huge, hollow, crimson float on the surface of that milky sea of mist. Just like the descriptions like that, like unparalleled in anything I've read. And this is like only the beginning of a sentence, but it was, when the sun had entirely emerged from the fog, and fields and mist were aglow with dazzling light. Which, I won't read you the whole sentence. And then I literally like highlighted 3 paragraphs of the book because it was all just so beautiful. Just the way he like compares things to other things, I guess that's like a simile. But it's like, just as this person did this, it was like the clock and the hands moving, and it's just so beautiful. I have talked long enough, but yeah, that is my current update for you guys. So, yay! Oh, I'm also currently reading Jane Austen and Marriage by Hazel Jones for school. Like, I'm writing a research paper. So I'm reading that. It is pretty interesting, but I'm only pulling quotes for Pride and Prejudice specifically, and it kind of covers like all of her books. So it's not the most interesting because I haven't read any of her other books, which I need to change this year. Hopefully I will. My goal is to read at least Emma. At least. If not, Sanderson, because it's pretty short. Like her short stories. But yeah, I need to actually get around to reading her other books. Because I love Pride and Prejudice so much that I feel like I'll love her other books as well. I did just order Northanger Abbey, which is more of like her, like a gothic vibe book. So hopefully I'll like that as well. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'll see you guys in a few seconds. Hey guys, so I am on book 2, part 1, chapter 6. I have also found an audiobook on YouTube, and it is the translation I'm reading, which is very helpful. And the narrator is doing a really great job and giving a really nice performance. So it's really just enhancing the reading for me, especially when I'm kind of getting to the parts that's like dragging on a little bit. Having an audiobook will just really help me. If you do want to listen to the audiobook, I'll have it linked down below. But a note is, when it says book 4, it's divided up into parts. So like book 1 of this audiobook would be book 1, part 1. Book 2 would be book 1, part 2, and so on. So that's just a little note. I'll have the first one linked down below. I'm on book 4 of this so far. That's just a little update for you guys. I also hope you enjoyed seeing all my annotations. Yeah, it's just a quick little update.
Just storm of feelings. Thoughts and memories suddenly arose within him that he could not fall asleep, nor even remain in one place, but had to jump up and pace the room with rapid steps. Pierre was one of those people who, in spite of an appearance of what is called weak character, do not seek a confidant in their troubles. He digested his sufferings alone. It is all her fault, he said to himself. But what of that? Why did I bind myself to her? Why did I say je vous aime to her, which was a lie, and worse than a lie? I am guilty and must endure. What? A slur on my name? A misfortune for life?
Hey guys, this is like the 4th time I have said hey guys in this video, but we have come to the end of another reading vlog. Before we get to the War and Peace reading update, I have a few more reading updates for you guys from my other books. So I finished Bonded Fate, which I did not vlog, unfortunately, because I was just so like immersed in the world and I didn't want to put the book down to like pick up a camera, and also I was annotating, which also takes up time. Didn't have time to vlog it, but I do just kind of want to wrap up my thoughts here in this video. So hopefully it won't take too long. I absolutely loved this book. It's a new favorite. That's how much I loved it. I laughed, I cried, and I was left dangling off a cliff. And the next book doesn't come out until August 30th. Everything about this book was so good. The slow burn romance, the ending, oh my gosh, that ending killed me. And then Ron, he has got to be one of my favorite characters. And Zev, oh my gosh, I just love everyone. Except Vaughn. I don't know how to feel about Vaughn. But yeah, Ron, because he is so heavily inspired by Legolas. Chef's kiss. It is so good. And more people need to read this series. Like, it's so underrated. And I loved how much growth we already saw Dinah have, and I know in the next book we're gonna get a lot more character growth, especially from that ending. We're gonna see Dinah in some new situations, and I'm excited to see where Beck Michaels takes this series. So if you haven't read Divine Blood, that is the first book, I would highly recommend it. Again, Goodreads in the description. You can read my full review. Or follow me on Instagram. I have talked a lot about this series over there. But now for the next reading update for Skyward, I have reached page 60, which is not much more than the last time I updated you guys. It's not that it's not interesting, it's just every time I sit down to read, I'm not in the mood to read. So I guess I'm kind of in a little bit of a reading slump right now, which is pretty unfortunate. But we're just gonna take it one chapter at a time. If it takes me a while to finish this, then so be it. So now on to the moment you have all been waiting for, my War and Peace update. We have reached book 2, part 2. Ever since I found that audiobook, yeah, I read like 30 pages so fast. The black right here is where I'm currently at, and I have this much more to go. So that's fun. Also tabbing update for you guys. These will be minor spoilers, so I'll put up a picture of the cover when I'm talking about it, and if you don't want to hear spoilers, I'll have timestamps. They should pop up as like chapters. I'll do like the actual timestamps, so you can skip the spoilers. Spoilers starting now. Andre's wife died, which is really sad. And the way that, okay, this scene wouldn't have impacted me as emotionally if I wasn't listening to the audiobook, because the narrator puts on such a good performance. She, like, you can hear the emotion in her voice as she's reading these lines, and that just like broke my heart. This is page 351. Prince Andre felt that something gave way in his soul, and that he was guilty of a sin he could neither remedy nor forget. He could not weep. And then this line, which is before the line I just read, but I I love you all and have done no harm to anyone. And what have you done to me? Said her charming, pathetic, dead face. Tolstoy! Why? Lisa is dead. She died in childbirth. So Andre has a son now. And that was also like emotional because Andre's family didn't know that he was alive, if he was alive or dead, because Kutuzov, who was like the general of the army, was like, I saw your son get cut down in battle, but like his name didn't show up on any of the death records, so he was like, not sure if he's alive or dead, but hey. So then he shows up before his wife dies, and good times. I am 27% done and I'm on page 371. So that's my little update. I'm also going to end the vlog here. So thank you guys for watching. Links, all that kind of stuff will be in the description, so make sure to check that out. Also, tell me, what is the longest book that you have read? Because I'm curious to know. So thank you for joining me on this journey through War and Peace, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao!